Our exterior is getting set, ready to go. We have our rigid insulation in place. We have our water barrier on, so the next step is masonry. So we're getting set. You can see our brick's been delivered. We got our stone on site, so we should be ready to go shortly. Our stone and brick are from local distributor in the area. Our mason, he's got many years experience, an old-time mason, so he's a hands-on guy, so we're very excited to have him on board. We have some challenges here. We're using a jumbo-sized brick, trying to incorporate the brick with the stonework and some of the other things we got in place. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but he assures us he can work everything out. One of the issues we've run into is we had to get our deck framing in place prior to the start of the brickwork. That's something that we have where we're tying back to the structure of the house. We got to make sure things are flush and tied in properly. So it's going to be a little bit of an obstacle for him to get his scaffolding in place because we have a walkout basement, so we're dealing with a two-story area. But these are things he assures us he can work with and accomplish. So every job should have its challenges, but he assures us he can get it done.
Currently on this project, we have 4.5 guys. A project like this takes 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the weather. If the ground gets wet, the laborers can't move the material. If the bricks get wet, we can't lay them on the wall because they'll squish. So dry, dry, dry. That's the key.
Some might think that the formula for laying brick is, well, set in stone. But adjustments have to be made depending on the materials used and even the day's climate.
For the labor to make the mortar, it is kind of an art and a science. Depending on the humidity of the day, they have to add a little bit or a little bit less water. It depends on the brick that you're laying. If it's a real dense brick, it's not going to absorb the water at a higher rate. Therefore, you're going to need a little bit more stiff mortar. If you have a brick that dries instantly, if it's very porous, then the labor is going to need to make the mortar a little more soft or runnier. That way, as you lay the bricks, it can absorb into the brick and it doesn't dry or cure too fast. There must be an airspace maintained behind the bricks. To build brick properly, you put up a story pole or a dead man on each corner of the wall, or you build what's called a lead, where you run the bricks out with a level, and you do maybe 4 or 5 course, and then you can use like a line pin on one side and a story pole on the other. You take it, you hook up a line to the wall, and you run back and forth with your coursing. The key is to maintain your airspace behind the wall. You don't want any excessive water to fall behind the wall, to trap water. You want to get airflow and water flow. That's why you notice the bottom of the wall, we also have what's called a weep vent, which allows any drainage to come down the wall and weep out those holes. Underneath the brickwork, there's a composite, like a rubber flashing. On this particular building, we used a sticky flashing. It's a membrane that sticks right down to the concrete so water can't seep underneath it. Everything rolls out, and any ice damming, that's all eliminated by proper ventilation of the wall. Water's your enemy. When it turns to ice, it doesn't matter what it is, it could pop it out. You'll notice in the front of the house, we have the porch area. We left a couple bricks out. Those are called scuppers. That allows water to drain out of the front porch area. You'll notice the concrete on the porch, the concrete guy pitched the concrete down on an angle so any water, ice, snow can kind of flow right out. Because why? Water's our enemy.
Visit the Built to Last website to learn about these topics and more.